Now, today marks London Poppy Day as serving and ex-service volunteers collect for the Royal British Legion's annual appeal, but this time it's underground and mainline stations across the capital ahead of Remembrance Sunday.
Well, more than 3,000 volunteers and armed forces personnel from the British Army, the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force will come together in the capital for London Poppy Day with the aim of raising £1 million in funding for the Royal British Legion's Poppy Appeal.
And they do it with a style and aplomb, as you can imagine. So we sent our national reporter Charlie Peters along to find out what's happening. Morning, Charlie.
Good morning to you both. Yes, the commuters are streaming into Waterloo Station this morning, and the Royal British Legion with their London Poppy Day today, hoping to raise £1 million for their good causes, supporting armed forces personnel, veterans, their families right across the country. It's been going for 19 years now. First one in 2006, raised £500, a worthy effort, but £1 million is the target in 2025. I'm very happy to say I'm joined by one man who is a key campaigner with the Poppy Appeal. It's Rob Rinder. Rob, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
No, thanks for having me, and for so beautifully setting it out. £1 million. I know that we can raise that today, and what a privilege to be here celebrating our armed forces, the real absolute best of who we are as Britain at our best, don't you think?
Absolutely, and we've seen all three services represented this morning, abseiling from the Royal Marines. What does it mean to you to support the RBL and the Poppy Appeal?
Well, just about everything. I mean, this is about commemorating the past. You know, we think, of course, about those who laid down their lives in 2 world wars. But we don't necessarily pause to reflect on what that means. They were prepared to sacrifice their life to keep us free. And nowadays, it's also about gratitude as well. Gratitude for these incredible men and women who continue to serve. And service is not something we necessarily celebrate enough. To do the thing that, sadly, I think we're complacent about, this democracy of ours that needs, above all else, safeguarding, now perhaps more than ever. And what a thing the army is, from every community, from every background, north and south, that they do the thing which is something, again, not just service, but excellence. I really believe, and I have the privilege to be an honorary lieutenant colonel in the Royal Corps of Army Music, that we are the best armed service in the world. And so when you wear one of these, you are commemorating the past, but doing something else as well, saying the thing that we don't do enough in the armed service, say thank you. That's what this is about.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
And Rob, it's about excellence, as you say. It's about turning the ordinary into the extraordinary, which you've seen a lot of this morning already. Commuters coming into Waterloo will be blessed to see music from the Royal Air Force, of course, but also Army and Navy personnel demonstrating their prowess as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They really are great. You know, oftentimes we see national events and we think how stirring the music is, and at the cenotaph, hopefully whoever you are, wherever you are, you'll pause, reflect and think in thanks for those who served and gifted us the ultimate sacrifice. And today we listen to the Army, we forget just what excellence it takes. And when you go to one of the Army bands, I have to say, you see the most extraordinary thing. People from every background, from other countries and across the Commonwealth as well, coming together to create the greatest Army music in the world that every other country comes to learn from, because they are benignly envious of just how brilliant we are at our best. And we need more and more stories of this, more and more reminders of what Britain is and can be at its very best.
Rob, now a lot of barristers take great pride in wearing their robes and their wig when they're in court, but you know, you're wearing the tie of the Royal Corps of Army Music today in that role as Deputy Colonel Commandant. What does it feel for you when you put on the uniform, the multi-terrain pattern, the uniform of the armed forces? What sense of pride does that give you?
I mean, it's limitless pride. But I'm, not doing anything. I mean, my thing is...
That's not true. You're doing so much by being part of that.
My thing is to give people a platform and to point. And the greatest thing I can do, we can do, and, viewers of GB News can do, is to celebrate, to point at members of our armed services, say, thank you. And that's all I'm doing, and that's all that we're doing, and we need to do more of that now more than ever. Remind us who our armed services are, who our great military bands are, that it's about excellence, about community. Whoever you are, whatever background you're from, you can love our country, and loving our country means defending it, never being complacent about it, and remembering that these freedoms that we so often take for granted fall on the shoulders of these armed services. So that's what today is about. And if we can point and say that's who they are, they're the best of us, that's it's a limitless privilege, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And when you go to these sorts of events hosted by the armed forces, you just do see a different smile on people's faces when they come through those gates. Right now, commuters streaming in, they see armed service personnel, they see them in the uniform, and it brightens their day straight away because they're seeing excellence.
Yeah, they're seeing excellence, and I think they're seeing something else. You can feel it. Just have a look at the complexion of our armed services and where they're from every bit of our country, every part, every province, every one of the nations of Britain. And I think people just don't necessarily have the opportunity to meet members of the armed services, to see it at its best, to hear it and see it up as close as this today. And so when they do, you're right, they smile, because we're in a moment of pessimism, to an extent of darkness too. And so to walk through this station and to be reminded that there is this story of Britain which lives so brightly in our shared armed forces, and that not only can Britain be excellent, not only can it be world-beating, world-leading, but there are young people that are prepared to serve, to lay down their lives to keep us free, even today. That tells us a story that we now more than ever need to commemorate and celebrate.
Rob Rinder, thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you.
GB News.
And there you go. Thanks for GB News. Please do donate to the Poppy Appeal, of course, because they're trying to raise £1 million. And if you are a GB News viewer or listener coming into the capital today, commuting for work, keep an eye out for the excellence of our armed forces personnel on duty at many of our underground stations and train stations throughout the city. It is, absolutely, and good morning to both of you. And you've arrived at the perfect time, because it appears some of those Royal Marines are getting ready to abseil now, as you see those poppies on their back, greeting the commuters here at Waterloo Station as they arrive. This is part of the Royal Marines abseiling team. Down. And it's coming in the 19th year of the Poppy Appeal. These Marines heading down now. I think a lot of the commuters arriving today probably weren't aware this was happening, and might be slightly surprised to see a handful of commandos coming down. Some cheers on the ground now as they arrive. You can see members of all three services on the ground here. On the balcony above the station, I'm joined by Lucy Inskip, who's with the Poppy Appeal. Lucy, this is a significant day for your organisation. 19 years of this taking place now. What's going on today?
Morning, Charlie. Yes, so it's a brilliant day in the calendar of the Royal British Legion's Poppy Appeal. As you say, it's the 19th London Poppy Day. There's lots going on across London. We have military bands and choirs across all the main stations, lots of activities. Bring the kids, come on down. We are today supporting, of course, our armed forces community. We are looking to donate. We are looking for you to donate. We are raising hopefully over £1 million in just 12 hours. That's one day. And we're really excited to get Londoners involved and support your armed forces community.